Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to Earth. Wow. I can't believe this week is already here, although we've been talking about it all summer. It is Astrology Advantage week. Yay! Our book is here on Tuesday, and that means we're together in Los Angeles. We're so excited because you are going to be hearing from us on all your favorite podcasts this week, kicking off with a slumber party that we'll tell you about in a minute. But first, happy end of summertime, end of Mercury retrograde. We got so much happening in the stars this week that, back to school is kicking into gear. I know, it's back to something. Well, just so you know who's who, this is Tali. Right here, track my voice, slight differentiation, that's okay.
If you can. Our mom can't even tell us apart on the phone, but I can hear it a little bit, so.
One day we'll add video in, but frankly, it's kind of easy.
That would mean, having to take a shower at times.
Deep in writing, writers understand that showering is on a schedule of its own. We're very clean, we're very demure, very mindful when you see us in public.
But it might be after 12 p.m. in our time zone when that happens. So
let's tell people about the slumber party already, because we have been invited on our favorite paranormal podcast, Coast to Coast AM.
It's not even a podcast only, it's an actual real live radio show.
Oh, it is
you still have one of those?
It's a podcast that's true, because I do listen to it on radio.
The car.
Yeah. So Coast to Coast AM has been around for years. It has a vault of a treasure trove, if you will, of broadcasts about everything from near-death experiences to numerology to cryptids. They're very big on the Sasquatch there.
What is a cryptid?
A Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I know. You can tell I've listened to Coast because I now know the terminology. I've met some of my favorite teachers, Morgana Ray, through there. I've taken their classes. So Coast to Coast is having us on. That's been a dream for a while. It's wacky, it's wild, and it's an up all night thing. So we're going to be on Monday night at midnight. I mean, it's technically Tuesday, but
I feel really happy about this for all of our amazing readers in Europe, and
because you can listen online.
Yeah, you can actually come on live, I think, and call in. I don't know how it all works with calling, but anyway, join us. Get your s'mores, get your pajamas, get your sleeping bag.
Your Red Bull.
We're going full camp out with Coast to Coast.
Midnight to 2 a.m., yeah.
And all week long, we're going to be on some of the most amazing podcasts. One of my favorite things with the Astrology Advantage, this is Ophi, is all summer we were interviewed by some of our favorite and frankly heroes, I would say, in the industry. We got to write an article for Fast Company that's coming out on Tuesday. We're going to be on Amy Porterfield's podcast this week. Almost 30. The Adam Carolla show this week. We're taping live. So many Call It Like It Is with Jessica Capshaw, Camilla Luddington for the Grey's Anatomy fans out there. Just so many more. We'll be posting those up on the site and sharing those on our calendar. So it's been so fun to introduce the I Am system. We have a brand new calculator also at astrostyle.com/IAM.
Oh yeah, this one I am so excited about. So the IAM system really uses your chart dominance. Are you mostly cardinal fixed mutable, which we've renamed Innovator Authority Maven? What's the percentage of fire, earth, air, and water in your chart? And when you can look at that, you get to balance out what might be low, what might be high, and really find your primary archetypes. So now we have an additional calculator that really supplements the Astrology Advantage book which has the 84 types. So there's really 84 combinations that you can have using your chart dominance. We are water cardinal, water innovators, aka the tide turner. We've come up with a name for all of them. So now you can just put your birth deets in and get your type.
Yeah, which of the 84 are you? The flow master? Are you the igniter? Are you the spark plug? Are you the counselor? So you may have seen some of our celeb I am diagrams on Instagram. We'll be doing a lot more now that we have this. And just shout out to the amazing Peter in Prague of AstroSeek. If you haven't done your chart on astro-seek.com, he is the creator of all of our calculators. We've partnered up for this one dark night on the internet across the miles. And he is just one of the most generous and incredible people. And it's just, if you haven't used the site as a resource for doing your chart, I mean, there's no chart he hasn't created. He's kind of a Taurus genius there. So thank you to Peter from AstroSeek for the I Am Diagram 84 Types calculator. Go get your special name. It's like a little transcendental meditation mantra for you based on the stars.
I love being the tide turner. That makes me feel so much better all the time because I'm like always, but also like I feel like I'm always doing things that seem completely normal to me, but wind up being a little bit ahead of the curve. And then people are like, okay, well, that sounds interesting for you. But later on, they're like, I'll try it. Now, I love people. There are plenty of people who try things before I do and are braver than me. But I still feel like I'm going to try this far out, far-reaching way of doing things that seems perfectly normal. So it gave me a lot of peace.
That's what people are saying.
When you came up with that name,
it was fun going on all these other people's podcasts this summer because I just saw them light up with this, this is what I love about astrology. It really does create a cellular spiritual shift in people. I've really come to appreciate it. I got interviewed by a lot of skeptics, curious skeptics too, and I had to explain what astrology can do for people's consciousness and really kind of grasp the value proposition of astrology at a deep level for people that are thriving in the material 3D world. And having this label to define but not limit yourself, it was like every time they did it, they were struck to the core with this kind of inner knowing and truth of who they were. And that was the gift of astrology for us. We discovered it 30 years ago. That's why we're so excited about the Astrology Advantage book launch and this new calculator, and for you to have both of those in your hands, because we want you to have that feeling of relief and freedom and ease. Life does not have to be so hard. People ask us all the time, how do you guys write so much? How do you do so much? It's because we're able to filter out choices that aren't right for us with this knowing. And so this is really 30 years of our lives put into one book for you. It's not packed with a bunch of fluff. It's meant to be useful from start to finish. So get yourself the Astrology Advantage. Get your pajamas. Come celebrate with us on Coast to Coast and all week long. It's a fun all fall together with you guys because we're going to be at the Fast Company Innovation Festival speaking in September, and we're going to have parties and events all month and really all fall long. So stay on board and we will be hanging out.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say before we get into this week is that the Astrology Advantage will be available as an audiobook read by us too, starting next week and on Kindle. So grab your hardcover to have and then get yourself a nice companion to listen, whatever works for you, or whatever format. Now, we can all celebrate this week because on Wednesday, the day after our book comes out, Mercury is ending a somewhat agonizing 3-week retrograde.
Especially if you're a Virgo or a Leo.
The Leos have been...
Leos are getting... Yeah, they're kind of getting their asses kicked by this retrograde.
No, they're going through a lot.
We're so sorry. Yes, finally, Mercury retrograde ends Sunday. Whew, what a day. that is the day that Uranus and Pluto both make retrograde pivots. Now, Pluto has already been retrograde since May 2nd, but it's going to be backing out of Aquarius into Capricorn for the last time in our lifetimes, from September 1st to November 19th. Yes, during election season.
It's retrograde till October 11th, but, we can really expect to see the patriarchy and some, big business, big corporate interests starting to kick into the election. Hopefully some billionaires who are on the right side of history will lend support.
It was interesting because the DNC, which was so Aquarian, hope and idealism and joy and bring people together, started on the Aquarius full moon with Pluto and Aquarius. And it really, really, just the vibe of that room embodied the ideals of Aquarius and gave us a sneak peek of what we will hopefully experience with Pluto and Aquarius from November 19th of this year until 2044, when Pluto goes back for good into Aquarius. But since March of 23, it's pivoted between Aquarius and Capricorn. So we've gotten AI and aliens and, all these Aquarian things have surfaced, bubbled to the surface.
Third-party candidates.
Yeah, exactly.
Activism and...
Yeah. No surprise that the third-party candidate that's stuck around the most happens to be a Capricorn, RFK Jr., and he is
and aligned himself with the Capricorn candidate.
yeah, with the old guard. It's very so. It's when we've been telling people every vote and every minute counts. Your consciousness matters in this election. Your vote matters. So, but listen to last week's podcast if you want my rant on that one.
Well, and I do want to say, don't get scared of Pluto going into Capricorn. While it may drum up some, again, Heritage Foundation antics and whatnot, there are also plenty of people like Melinda French Gates and other billionaires who are using their money not in the way that Elon Musk is. Yes, this is a biased podcast, so take it or leave it. We stand for women's rights, for the rights of all people and unity, so we're going with the unity party right now as we see it. But I do want to say that Pluto in Capricorn began with Obama being elected, the first Black president. Had transformation in the beginning with government, and hopefully we will also have that at the end. There's just as much a chance of that as there is the patriarchy strengthening its stronghold, which I don't really see. I would be surprised, but anything is possible. We are co-creating with the universe. But Pluto's a great alchemist, the transformer. It takes things down and makes you reinvent them and recreate them.
This is a test. So, Pluto being retrograde until October 11th is when we'll probably see the most antics. But after the retrograde, and it's almost good, show me who you are. Show us who you really are, politicians. And that goes for all of them. It is their chance to do that, to make sure they walk their talk, and we'll see. And then Pluto is not retrograde, it's direct, but still in Capricorn, October 11th to November 19th. During the U.S. elections, there are no accidents. If astrology isn't real, then why this? So we've got Uranus, also retrograde.
The ruler of Aquarius.
The ruler of Aquarius.
Old school Taurus, the sign it's in fall in.
From September 1st to...
end of January 30th,
January
30th.
Yeah, so we have that happening also on September 1st. And even more interesting, Uranus and Pluto are going to be in this dance with each other that hasn't happened since the early 1920s. They're going to form a harmonious 120-degree trine to each other all month long. So we're going to...
Wow.
Also, so roaring 20s, 1 century removed. Get your flapper dress. Get your
suffragette gear.
Exactly. Get your women's rights sign and start brewing up some bathtub gin and bootlegging away, because we are going back to the future here, maybe with an AI twist.
Well, that's so wild, because Pluto is like about the power, the core of power, under the old secret guard that's pulling the strings. And Uranus is about social change and revolution. So those two working together during this critical countdown to the US presidential elections is going to bring so many secrets and surprises out. I mean, I feel like we've already been feeling that. Like,
absolutely. I was going to say, I'm sorry for any Bravo shows that premiere this fall, because the U.S. election is the best reality show in town. Vanderpump Rules will pale by comparison, and the real fascinating show is happening.
F-Boy Island. Bring your own eyeliner this time. So your own guy liner.
J.D. Vance starring in F-Boy Island. Yeah.
Oh my God, hilarious. Now let's get into some of the lighter transits of this week. The personal is political, but sometimes the personal is also just the personal. And that is underscored on Monday when there's a quarter moon in Gemini, which is playful, quirky, communicative, excited about the little things. And the quarter moon in Gemini helps us balance out communication already a couple days ahead of Mercury turning direct. Mercury turns direct on Wednesday. But we can start to say the quiet part out loud without worrying about offending people under that quarter moon, or even start maybe seeing a new perspective, seeing things from the other person's point of view, so that when Mercury turns direct, we can have a more productive conversation about a sticking point. Also supporting this is lovely diplomatic Venus, the peaceful, romantic planet. So Venus is on last 3 days in Virgo. Venus is not happy in Virgo. Venus is actually exalted, its happiest place in Virgo's opposite sign of Pisces, which is free-flowing and starry-eyed and romantic. Virgo's the critic, and Venus likes to put on the rose-colored glasses. So the last few weeks for love may have been a little bit cringe and craptastic and critical and all those crunchy words like that. Or maybe you've just kind of found it hard to literally relax into romance. Now that all gets amplified because Venus is going to be trine Uranus on Tuesday and then opposite Neptune on Wednesday. So there's going to be sort of this amplified energy around spotting all the flaws and seeing where things don't work, which is helpful and useful in relationships, as long as it's done in the right measure. Now, Venus trine Uranus can be really good for experimenting and letting yourself play with different styles, different ideas, different ways of expressing yourself in love. And opposite Neptune, it can also kind of snap you out of some of the fantasizing that might be unproductive. Mercury turns direct on Wednesday the 28th, and it goes direct in Leo. It's been retrograde in Leo since August 14th. Before that, it was retrograde in Virgo, which was kind of tough on our Virgo and Leo friends. You guys have been really going through it and having some stress, added stress. So you will be incredibly relieved and already starting to feel things lighten up after Wednesday. Love that on Thursday, Venus pulls in to her home sign of Libra all the way until September 22nd. Great way to start the fall. Venus gives us a homecoming parade for our hearts and also our wardrobes, because there's no better shopping than when Venus is in Libra. It's like you know how to put an outfit together. You suddenly just develop this talent for knowing how to put everything together, becoming a super connector, playing matchmaker for your friends, figuring out who you'd like to partner with. Everyone's in the mood to partner up when Venus is in Libra. It's a really lovely time for that. So on Friday, Venus will trine Pluto, which can bring this very magnetic and sexy, seductive energy for us all to carry into the weekend. This is an air trine, so flirting, texting, sexting will be especially spicy. Now, Mercury's just out of retrograde, so, make sure you're sending the pictures to the right person and maybe not actually compromising yourself with anything that could be screenshotted. Use the right apps, people. Use the right apps. Now, this year, Venus in Libra comes with some extra sizzle as well as some extra empowerment. Sex positive empowerment, because Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, this point in the sky that is associated with us finding our erotic freedom against all odds, empowering ourselves. It's like the exiled but empowered sexual part of ourselves. Lilith is also in Libra on this 9-month tour that began at the end of June. So Venus and Lilith together in Libra underscores the importance of not putting on the rose-colored glasses or just putting your best foot forward, which is something that we do tend to do when Venus is in Libra. We want everything to look pretty and nice and be all polished, but sometimes that can actually block a deeper intimacy when, it's the messy parts, the people who love our messy, authentic parts that we can truly be intimate with. So I'm not saying you should show up to the date looking like Marge Simpson, then meet up for an at-home hangout looking like Patty and Selma. If you know, you know. But I am saying that it's okay to let Patty and Selma come out sometimes, and your partner or your love interest is gonna need to know all 3 sisters living inside of you. So that's the opportunity for this Venus cycle that lasts from August 29th until September 22nd. Okay, everyone, what an exciting freaking week on every level. The political sphere, the romantic sphere, the communication sphere, and
your bookshelf.
Your bookshelf, yes. So hang with us all week. Come on to Instagram. If you want to do some moment by moments with us.
Come find out your astrology advantage. It lies in your I am archetype, your 84 types. Go find out what your astrology advantage is and get the book, audio, hardcover, or Kindle, our first audio and hardcover. And come celebrate with us. We are so grateful to all of you guys, and can't wait to share this.
Thanks to everyone who's already bought the book and been with us through the summer of success. We had a great time, and it really has been a summer of success as far as I'm concerned. Just even on an emotional and spiritual level, it's been a very fulfilling summer because we've spent it with you.
Yeah, and we would love to shout you out. So when you get your book, take a picture with it and tag us, AstroTwins on Instagram. Tell us which of the archetypes you are, and we would love to shout you out and show our appreciation. Happy end of August. See you in September.
See you next month. As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrocell.com, and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.